Hello, I'm Zach Huson, and this is your 6 p.m. wrap.
President Rodrigo Duterte assures Japan he has no intention of forging a military alliance with China. Japan and China are locked in a territorial dispute over the Senkaku or Diaoyu Islands in the East China Sea.
I went to China for a visit, and I would like to assure you that all there was economics. We did not talk about arms. We did not talk about stationing of troops. We do not. We avoided talking about alliances, military or otherwise.
Duterte assures the Japanese investments and trade were the central focus of his China trip, not maritime disputes or military agreements. Although Duterte and Chinese President Xi Jinping did sign a defense cooperation agreement involving Philippine and Chinese coast guards. President Rodrigo Duterte signs an executive order laying down the mechanisms and terms for the 8888 Citizens Hotline and Complaint Center. The EO puts the 8888 Citizens Hotline and Complaint Center under the supervision of the Office of Cabinet Secretary Jun Evasco, one of Duterte's most trusted men. The Complaint Center is supposed to operate 24 hours, 7 days a week, except on national holidays and during work suspensions. While citizens should be able to rely on the 8888 landline number, the EO states that the Complaint Center should provide other communication channels such as text messaging, email, websites, and social media. A Jakarta-based think tank warns of more deadly violence in the Philippines after it traced direct links between 4 pro-ISIS groups in Mindanao and extremists in Indonesia and Malaysia. The think tank releases a report saying ISIS setbacks in the Middle East could divert fighters in the region from Syria to the southern Philippines. It says, quote, "The Philippines is important because as far as the ISIS leadership is concerned, it is the extension of the caliphate in the region." While not yet formally declared a province or wilayat, ISIS endorsed Abu Sayyaf leader Isnilon Hapilon as Amir or leader for Southeast Asia. The report also showed the Abu Sayyaf group, Ansarul Khilafah Philippines, Maute group, and the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters receive funding or training from pro-ISIS operatives in Indonesia and Malaysia. In turn, the groups provide refuge. A large glacier in West Antarctica lost up to half a kilometer in thickness in 7 years, thinning more quickly than scientists thought possible. The Smith Glacier shed up to 70 meters or 230 feet per year between 2002 and 2009, according to the study, based on NASA data collected during aerial flyovers. The findings provide fresh evidence that warming seawater is eroding the underbelly of some Antarctic glaciers more quickly than before. Scientists also say Antarctica as a whole is losing mass. NASA airplanes are currently retracing the flight patterns from 2002 and 2009. The new data should be available within a couple of months and will tell scientists whether Smith Glacier is continuing to melt at the same rate and if other glaciers are following suit. The Vatican urges Catholics not to scatter the ashes of the dead after cremation and instead store the ashes in places approved by the Church. The new guidelines published by the Church also say the ashes of the dead should not be kept at home, but should instead be kept at a cemetery or other sacred place. German Cardinal Gerhard Ludwig Müller says we also avoid eventually forgetting them and the lack of respect which can happen, especially after the passing of the first generation. He adds the body is not the private property of the family, but is part of the body of Christ. The new guidelines come just in time for All Souls Day on November 2. Cremations have become increasingly popular since the Vatican allowed the practice a half-century ago.
And that was your 6 p.m. wrap. Watch our updates daily at 12 noon and 6 p.m. I'm Zach Huson. Remember, tomorrow begins today.